Hello and welcome to That's Dope, the podcast where we talk about stuff that's dope in... Whoa, wait a minute. Dude, this is just like a normal audio podcast, isn't it? No gimmicks, nothing. This is like so fresh and so familiar. I love it so much.
This guy should go into acting.
Don't judge me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Right now we are coming back to like our original format, where we're doing audio. We started with audio. We work best in audio, I think. You know,
Yeah,
like
I think so too.
I mean, where we just sort of talk and I guess not really focus too much about like the camera as much, you know. Maybe one day soon we'll get back into that, but I guess right now it's just better that we stick to this format.
You know, I really like the back and forth that we kind of have. And I really enjoyed kind of our older stuff, but at the same time I feel like the show kind of needed some retailoring. Why don't we call this season 2 of That's Dope?
Would it be season 2? It seems like it's season 3 now.
Season 3?
Yeah, like it's like Breaking
we
Bad.
didn't even have like a year happen
It's like
yet.
Breaking Bad where you know, we had like 6 episodes or something like that, 8 episodes, you know, first season, you know, like where it's a really small season, right? And season 2, that's where we did a video and our reviews and stuff like that. This is season 3 where we're starting fresh again, where we're, you know, we're still trying to figure out ourselves, you know. And don't worry, there's a show worth, you know, keeping to because there's only growth, you know, like this is better, you know, just better. I mean, like, look, we came out with this video, the Tyrese video, and that's popping off, right?
It's popping off. It's got almost 5,000 views, I guess.
What? Yeah, so, and then also we
nowhere.
have some really cool interviews, and then also we finally have people on our team. We have a sound editor finally.
Oh, yes, we do.
And then also we have a video editor. He's not here, but
Potentially.
potentially, yeah.
Like I would.
Yeah, I hope they work out, man. Like, and we got all these kids on our side, so yay.
Yeah, all in all, really excited to be back to this old familiar format.
Yeah.
With a couple of tweaks and things, but it's going to be a little bit familiar, but also a little bit new.
Yeah,
I like that.
most definitely,
I like that a lot.
And yeah, I'm pretty excited to see how this new season is gonna go, and definitely we could use any comments, any suggestions, you know, and just really make sure that this is gonna be the best show possible. So
Make it clean.
I do want to say one thing before we get started. Like when we did have our Swoozie interview, you know, it was really inspirational.
Oh, for sure.
To like
Really
really
inspirational.
have like one, like him talk to us about all this stuff, like just how to like keep it going, what to do. And then 2, it was inspirational to have like just random strangers that were just listening.
Oh, yeah.
Just talk about our vibe.
Yeah, for me, it feels like the show had its awesome period, and then we just hit kind of all these obstructions and things, which kind of really prevented us from fulfilling exactly what we wanted to do, which made it so we couldn't produce as much content for you guys, which I'm really sorry about. I'm sure it's like 1,000 apologies now, but I think this is going to be the one that really sticks.
Yeah,
So I hope
most definitely. I mean, we're still trying to figure out ourselves. I mean, come on, we're college students that don't know what we want to do in his career. You know, I mean, come on now. I mean, hey, we're gonna figure it out. But you know, it's just saying like it's still gonna be a long process. I hope you guys stick with us.
Yeah. So here's to hoping that this is a step in the right direction. With that long intro out of the way,
right.
I am your high-voiced host, Justin V.
And I am your baritone bro host, Godswill. You.
There you go. See, it's been a while. It's like riding a bike.
Yeah.
Except, you know, I'm really bad at riding bikes.
No, don't worry.
So I'm getting cut up a lot.
We're gonna be high-speed cyclists in a bit. You know.
We're going to be Lance Armstrong good soon. Oh, except without, you know, like the steroids and...
We don't know any other famous cyclists.
Yeah, are there other famous cyclists?
Yeah, most likely, but I mean,
probably. Who's the next Lance Armstrong? Like, I know we're about to talk about. I don't. It ties in a little bit. All right.
I guess so.
But who's
Maybe.
the next Lance Armstrong? The dude.
I don't know. I don't watch cycling. Well, I'll ask my bro Zach.
I see a gap that needs to be filled.
Right? Yeah, definitely. The world needs a new cyclist.
The world needs Batman.
I need some good inspirational music there.
So we decided a really good way to come back would be to talk about robots.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah. Yeah.
In one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to kick things off by having a brief discussion on Pacific Rim and why it's the most underrated film of the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to go in for our main segment of the show and talk about my favorite robots, Daft Punk.
Yeah, right.
Daft
That
Punk.
electronic music, I mean, perfect. And that we got quite a bit to talk about. So
We do. It's been a while.
Yeah, right. So let's get
let's
into
just
it.
jump right into it.
It's a Pacific Rim, all right? Oh my gosh, this movie I loved. Like, I'm not gonna talk about details, but like I do just want to say like how before we get started, like how much I love this movie, and like I love seeing it a second time. and I'm really glad I got to see it. With some good friends.
Bro
Pound.
Bro fist. Watching it with you was my third time watching it. And
you saw it before. You saw it before.
Yes, I saw it opening night, and I will admit the first time I saw it, I was like, yeah, this is all right. But then I watched it the second time, and man, it just like really, really resonated with me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really strange because I think kind of on the surface, Pacific Rim like seems like a B movie when it's almost like, oh, turn your brain off and then just enjoy it. But unlike other films that are kind of like that, I'm looking at like Transformers and all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
If you actually dive into Pacific Rim, it becomes so much more of a film.
I kept my brain on, and also I kept my brain on because the reason I really wanted to watch this movie is because, well, I'll give you guys a little backstory, but this girl I liked for a long time. This does have to be a story I'll tell you guys maybe in the future if we ever get to maybe Bro Talk or whatever. This girl I liked from January, she was like, we gotta watch this movie. I'm just like, okay. And I wasn't thinking this movie could be good at all. And then I watched it with friends instead of her, and I was excited. I was like, okay, she's excited for it. It must be good. And it was so good. And I kept seeing all these references. I guess you were gonna talk about that, or yeah. But although I will say, I did feel sad I wasn't able to watch it with her. Bro. But no, it's all good.
This is the problem. With only audio, you don't see the bro fists that are being developed.
No.
Just administered.
I'll let people know that we just bro pounded. Yeah, the bro fist.
Bro fist.
That sounds worse.
So bad. Did we say anything on audio without it sounding sexual?
Hand pound.
Oh, no, that's so bad.
Hand fist. No. anyways, we'll figure it out. R&D.
Yeah. But yeah, Pacific Rim. Really, really, it's just, first off, I'm not gonna pretend and say Pacific Rim is the best movie ever, though there are plenty of people who will argue with me on that point. But I think what made Pacific Rim so good was that it was an action film that was really character driven.
Yeah.
Which is nice. We're usually, when you see, especially when I saw the trailers and stuff, I was like, okay, robots and stuff, find giant monsters, no problem. It's a story about monsters and robots, but it's so much more than that.
Yeah, you definitely see that human aspect. When it's near apocalypse. It gave really strong characters, and I think that's something that really drove the film.
Oh yeah, for sure. Shout outs to Idris Elba.
Yeah, seriously, one
held
of my
it down.
Seriously, I've never seen such a strong portrayal. I guess a black guy in a while. It's been a while. I feel I have, but it's it's really refreshing to see that a sort of strong black lead. Especially when nowadays the only strong black leads you can typically have are slaves, butlers, just neglected, or they have to showcase that sort of black side, don't get me wrong, I like to see the cultural aspects of a person, but I don't relegating them to stereotypical positions. You know what I mean?
On some real stuff right now.
Yeah, right.
On some real stuff.
I'm about to get on my soap. Okay. That's all I got for my soapbox right now.
You can soapbox away if you need to.
No, I'm good.
You good for now?
Yeah. I don't want to scare away people yet. It'll come out in time.
Yeah, I can feel
I'm looking at the Django poster, and it's just angry black Negro, let's go. I'm about to go full Negro. No, I'll keep it in.
It's just gonna be a hashtag for you now.
Yes, full Negro.
Django Tyrese.
yes. Idris Elba near went full Negro in the movie.
When he's now is not a good time to question. Yeah, that was crazy.
Oh no, with the touching
was the part.
Oh yeah, that was the part.
Yeah, that was the part.
Okay. Yeah. I remember now.
It's I am a fixed point. I was like, Jesus Christ, man.
Right. Oh man.
No, but yeah, Pacific Rim, just back on topic of Pacific Rim and whatnot. I think the biggest problem with this film is not necessarily the film's fault. I think it's the audience's fault.
Yeah.
I don't know how I can say this as a brown man without coming off as offensive, but I love America, but I feel like the American populace is really fucking stupid. Yeah, as a whole.
No, definitely. That's I
honestly,
agree with you.
this should have been one of the highest grossing films of the summer, and it wasn't. It was internationally. Internationally, it did really well, like fantastically well. But it just didn't do well here. It just didn't. You know what outgrossed
Wait, no, what?
Pacific Rim?
What?
Grown Ups 2.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Shame on you,
All right?
America.
Like,
shame on you.
You guys, one, paid movie to go see that, and then two, didn't pay money to see, Pacific Rim. That's ridiculous.
I know. It's like I'm not gonna stand up and say Pacific Rim is perfect and it's just the greatest thing ever, and it's like, Starry Night of films. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna say that. But what I will say is that it's a really original film. The concepts are really it's awesome because it's a homage, but it also is extremely original.
It is. It is. Like a lot of people will be like, "Oh, it takes too much from." I don't think so at all. I think it takes some, but then it has enough to really stand out on its own.
For me, the big thing about this film is understanding that when you go to watch it, you have to realize that things are there for a reason. I was with a friend. I'm not going to put him on blast because, he was just like, oh, I get it now later on. But when I saw it with him, he was like, oh, wow, this cliche. Oh, wow, this cliche. Oh, wow, this cliche. Oh, wow, this cliche. And I was just like, dude, that's the point. The reason that you've seen this before is because it is referencing old monster films and all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
It's supposed to be that way.
Yeah, I heard that as a major complaint of so many people, and it was it sort of shocked me. These people who recognized these references didn't get that it was being used as references. I thought that was pretty shocking. I mean, I loved that, Yeah. I guess maybe I came into the movie understanding that it is going to take from so many different things, and it was really cool to recognize all these different things. I mean, Godzilla, you got Power Rangers, you got some anime, Neon Genesis, and shoot, and it blew me away.
Not just that, paintings too.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about.
Oh, it's a great way of how.
Yeah. Pacific Rim, when you watch the first time or whatever, a lot of people will be like, oh, okay, it's a solid B movie, but then most B movies, the problem is when you dive into it, they fall apart whenever you start dissecting them and thinking about them critically. But Pacific Rim is one of those rare films where on the surface it might just be a B movie, but then if you dive into it, oh my god, it unlocks so much. You see how much work Guillermo del Toro put into the film. There are scenes where the director would be like, okay, I want the Great Wave here, which is a reference to a Japanese painting called the Great Wave. I'm sure you guys have seen it. It's literally a big ass wave.
That's gonna crush some people on the ship. Yeah.
There's another painting called the Colossus, where it's literally this giant within this city that Del Toro referenced when he was trying to make the scale of the Jaegers and stuff. And I just thought that was really, really interesting because especially the scene where we see the Jaeger coming back on shore, near the beginning of the film. There's no spoilers for this conversation. There's just things to look out for whenever you rewatch the film or whatever. But whenever the Jaeger comes on shore, I felt like it did a really good job of just showing the sheer scale of how giant these machines were.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just feel like the concept of the drift it's just really interesting, the fact that people can essentially bond and together and grow together and work together through shared experiences.
I do wish they explained that a little bit more. I feel like it, because I remember at the beginning where they're saying these brothers can share drift, but then in the end more strangers can drift or something like that. And drifting is sharing memories and experiences in order to be able to fight as one. I don't know. I just thought that was really interesting. I wish they explained that a little bit more. But
see, I kind of like how they left it not too technical.
Yeah, I would have bogged it down.
Yeah, because I think the whole point that the film essentially showcases there is people can come there's people that that can essentially bond together. Twins, husband and wives, triplets. They can bond together, no problem.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool that the film kind of showcases that. To some extent, strangers can work together to accomplish something higher than themselves and can ultimately bond with each other, even when it's not expected.
That's deep. That's deep right there.
It's a deep film if you really dive into it.
But I do want to say, before you guys think it's an artsy film, the fights. Oh my gosh.
The fight scenes are so good too.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the thing,
that's why I came. I mean, it's don't get me wrong. I do the artsiness and the deepness. The level of complexity is really.
For sure. Don't get me wrong. You come for the giant robots, just ripping apart monsters for sure. But you stay for all of the background information, all the little details that really sink in.
I mean, yeah, that's what really hooked me in. Like, definitely, it was good. I mean, like the action scenes were like definitely were my favorite thing. I wish I had more of that. I wish I could have seen like more Jaegers fighting or something like that. It was so legit.
It's too legit.
Like just seeing like these monsters, like the monsters were smart and intelligent. Like you'd think they would be like just sort of dumb, brainless things that would just be like, I'm gonna go on. Oh, here's giant robot, kill me. Like these, like every, I don't know, like
the best monster impersonation.
I don't know how monsters think. These were, whatever. I don't know. I'm not gonna try to spoil anything, but like every fight was like a fight for their lives. Like not only like just to like take away like this monster, but like it was harrowing. Like it's like you feel like they could die because that's how intense the fight was. It
really was,
and it was really enjoyable to watch. Like every fight was just awesome. So definitely Pacific Rim.
Please check it out.
Most definitely, it's a movie worth watching, and comes out.
Honestly, like I think it's a movie worth watching twice.
Yeah, I watched it twice and I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it more the second time.
Yeah, I don't watch movies twice, but I enjoyed it. And I guess like if you're gonna watch it, know what you're watching. I mean, if you listen to this review of sorts, definitely this is, it should brace you enough. Like, oh, this is what I'm going into.
We're gonna take a small break, and when we come back, we're gonna discuss the dopeness that is Daft Punk.
Hey folks, we are back to That's Dope, and right now we're going to be talking about Daft Punk, right?
Oh,
I mean,
favorite.
This is something we've been, I guess, working up for a while, and I think we did talk about them before, but is that like a lost episode or something like that?
I think it's a lost episode.
Oh boy. Yeah, like hopefully we don't have that, going on as much this time around, but now we got these experts, and now we got a schedule going on, and, better communication, I guess, between us. I think we won't be, having those problems. But anyways, we're here to talk about Daft Punk, the dopeness of Daft Punk.
I like alliteration.
Yeah. I mean,
don't make fun of me for my.
No. That's cool. That's cool. No, I like that. See, that's what he does. Like he's a creative guy, and then I'm just facts. I guess I don't know.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I guess
you're creative too.
Really?
And you got a really, really good voice.
Oh, appreciate that.
Seriously, listen to that voice.
Yeah,
Whenever we do podcasts, like. I feel a little bit insecure sometimes.
Yeah?
Yeah, because like listen to me. I sound like a preteen like all the time. Like I was like, hey girl, when the mic stops, the panties drop. I'm just like, what the hell? I'm like, how am I supposed to compete with that?
You do it with your wit and your humor, Like I need to get on your level, so
yeah,
here we are.
I got my wit and humor to compensate for my crappy voice.
So now we're talking about Daft Punk, and I think, yeah, like what I said before, like we've been meaning to talk about this before. In the summertime, we talked about the new album that just came out, Random Access Memories, and now we're just going to talk about the whole thing, including, should I say that or not?
We'll save it. We have a little surprise for you guys at the end.
Cool. Okay, so I guess let's just start with the music. Like I do want to, like before we start, I do want to say like my first initial experience.
Dude, yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. So like I remember listening in third grade, like it came on the radio or something like that, I think, like
radio?
Yeah. Or like somehow we knew about it because I mean we didn't have internet back then, right? I didn't watch MTV or nothing. I was in third grade. Who watches MTV in third grade?
I don't have cable.
I think I had cable.
White people, right?
Right. Anyways, I remember like I just moved to Garland. Like I came from Dallas and I moved to Garland. And I went to new school. I was a really, really shy kid. And I made friends with this one guy named Roderick. He was really cool. He was the coolest dude. TJ Detweiler, if he was black. Yeah. Like, if like Vince and TJ combined, boom, that's Roderick right there.
Man. So he was just like good at sports, and he wore like a red baseball cap back.
He didn't wear a hat. Like he was bald, but like he was cool. He was cool. But like he was cool. And like anyways, like I remember like he was telling me like his favorite song was One More Time. And to be honest, that's my favorite song right now. Like a favorite Daft Punk song, I guess, of all time. I was trying to like, I guess, go through like what's my favorite. But seriously, that's the song that started it all for me. And then ever since then, like I've been increasingly more interested, especially like when YouTube came out. I would watch like music videos. Like they used like their weird music videos. Like I remember watching Around the World.
Yeah.
And then I watched Aerodynamic, which was an Interstellar music video. And then I watched And then like I got into the Human after all because like I was going through like a time when I was really sad, and that song just sort of spoke to me. And I still have that in my car actually, like where I made like this mix CD, and I would just play that constantly. So and then like I met this guy Justin, and he was like, "Oh my God, you gotta listen to all of Daft Punk."
You do. It's so good.
And yes, and here we are in the present where it's like, okay, I am now like a Jedi Knight in Daft Punk, I guess. Not really, not really like the best yet, but like I still got a long ways to go with Daft Punk. But you know, definitely, this is a master right here.
I'm proud of you, my young Padawan.
Thank you, Sifu.
No, my Daft Punk experience, I think I either got into it because of the internet or because a friend gave me a little bit of Daft Punk. All I know is that I remember having like these really low quality files on my computer.
Me too.
Yeah, really low quality. You know what I mean?
Hey, LimeWire, right?
The LimeWire Kazan right?
Oh, good times. I had BearShare, and that was bad.
BearShare?
Oh, that was bad.
Dude, the struggle. LimeWire on dial-up.
Had so many viruses. It was bad. Yeah, that wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. It was my brother's fault. And like I don't know. It was dumb. Anyways,
look how far we've come buying our music legally now. Shout out to Spotify for making it so easy.
Right.
Actually, I'm a cool music person myself, but that's not the point. The point is Daft Punk, damn it. So, I'm not exactly sure how I got into Daft Punk. I wish I could have a nice long
origin story
like Godswill. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't. What I do know is for a while I had a couple of singles. I had One More Time. Loved Aerodynamic.
Uh-huh.
I had Digital Love.
Oh yeah, that's.
I had Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger, and I had Face to Face. Those are my 5 Daft Punk songs for the longest time, and man, they were great. I just had some really good times with those songs. You know, I wasn't really sure why, but I just really, really enjoy listening to it, even from a pretty young age. You know?
Me too. Like this was like when I guess electronic was taboo. Sort of for me. I mean, I don't know. Like electronic was never like really cool for me until I got to like college or so. Yeah. I mean, you know, like, but like I definitely could agree with all those songs. Like Digital Love was the song that I listened to like whenever I was crushing on girls, you know, and like I felt they didn't requite, they didn't reciprocate, and then but like that was my song, and then Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger, that was definitely my song too, where I felt cool for listening to that, you know, and I guess like as Kanye used them, you know, like with Stronger, you know, like even though that's my least favorite Kanye song, I think. You know, like it made it cool, like to be like,
it was cool.
Yeah, Daft Punk right here, you know, and Daft Punk got cooler as we got older, I guess, you know.
If we on that note, I think it's like kind of important to sort of discuss at least the impact that Daft Punk had. If you look at just about any electronic artist that's big right now, all of them will reference Daft Punk.
Yeah,
all of them will reference Daft Punk being a huge inspiration, you know. Regardless of your thoughts on the man, Skrillex even said that when he accepted the Grammy that Daft Punk should have honestly like won it back in the day with Discovery.
Oh yeah.
And that they got robbed, which they did, which I'm so angry about that. But yeah, Daft Punk, it's one of those bands that for me is extremely unique. I feel kind of bad for saying this, but a lot of electronic music these days kind of sounds the same.
The same, yeah.
You know, there's some exceptions. Like I can always recognize like a Dead Mouse song, and I can always recognize like a Zed track because of his, you know, his melodies and things like that. But overall, in general, I feel like a lot of electronic music really sounds the same.
Yeah, I mean, like, they haven't really been pushing the boundaries so much, you know, in the way that Daft Punk has. You know,
yeah,
like, I mean, pretty visionary in a sense. You know?
So visionary.
I mean, this stuff came out in 2001, and now we're still jamming out to it.
Yeah, like
as if it came out yesterday or something.
Around the World was what, like, off of Homework,
and
that was 1999.
Yeah,
and they had it floating around maybe since 1997, potentially.
Holy man,
that's insane.
I had no clue about that.
That's
to be honest,
crazy, you know. And the fact that you can throw on a Daft Punk track now at like any party and people will just be hyped to it. Still, that's
funny because like their stuff isn't necessarily hype, you know, in a sense. You know, like it's good listening, you know, like for example, great. Like, you know, it was a popular song that just came out, you know, with Pharrell. What's it called?
Get Lucky.
Get Lucky. There you go. I was trying to even like touch. I don't know, like, but like that's not a hype song when you think of you compare it to like other electronic songs, you know, like hype is like, I'm gonna go crazy, but people will get hype to get lucky. I'll get hype, you know?
Dude, yeah, you hear it and you're just like, oh, I love this song.
And you start somewhat singing along.
It's just, yeah, you know,
Yeah, right.
like, even though no one really knows the words.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I do, but.
Yeah, maybe.
If I hear Mexican Monkey one more time, I'm gonna punch somebody in the face. but
Most definitely. Oh yeah, I guess we gotta explain who Daft Punk is for the people
we
who
probably
don't.
should.
Yeah. So yeah, who are they?
Who are they? Daft Punk are two humans who choose not to show their faces whenever they perform, whenever they give interviews or anything, which I find really rare and extremely commendable. There are pictures of them, like if you look it up online, you can find pictures of them where they have performed like way back in the day when they were just getting started, without their masks on, so you can kind of see them, I guess. But the fact is that Daft Punk, like the guys behind Daft Punk, could be walking among us.
Yeah,
in a room with us, and no one would know. Well, think about like most celebrities. You know, Kanye West, he goes anywhere. Kanye West is getting stalked by paparazzi at like 4 a.m. when he's trying to go to the airport, right? Mm-hmm. You know, he goes anywhere and he's just being berated by reporters and everything. But Daft Punk has the freedom to go anywhere, but at the same time, Kanye goes to places and he gets recognized by everyone. You know, it's like, oh, famous person alert. We need to treat this guy extra nice, extra special. But Daft Punk, no one really knows who they are.
True.
You know, really. So,
yeah. So, like I was reading an interview with them. I forgot like who did the interview, but it was a really cool interview to read. Like where these two French guys that started and like they talked about like their inspiration, with funk and like like early electronic stuff, techno, and like why they do it. Like they're in their 30s still doing it, and like they have personalities. Like one guy is quiet and one guy is a little more brash and right. But, yeah, right.
Oh, guys, we're Daft Punk.
Sorry, just to let you guys know. Although we're not 30, but but you never know. But I mean, they're pretty humble, I guess. Like to be doing that. I mean, honestly, you don't know who's behind the mask, and it does sort of allow people to like really get into the music without having to. I guess like have any stigma behind the people.
Yeah.
Like it definitely like it makes it more than human. It's
transcends.
Yeah, it transcends that. Where it's not like for example with Kanye, you can say like you love his music, but you always get the haters like, oh, but he's a bad man or whatever. It's just some crap. And it's really annoying because like. Yeah, maybe he's not like the best person, but like he still makes great music. But you always get people that don't like the person, so they won't like the music. Whereas this, you don't have the people behind it. You just move past that.
Yeah, and I like the fact that you use the word transcend a lot.
Yeah,
because I can't think of a better way to describe the music that Daft Punk makes. Mm-hmm. I think that what makes Daft Punk so relevant is the fact that they're always pushing the boundary somehow, and they somehow essentially transcend above everything else in terms of electronic music. That really comes out.
Most definitely. Like, and it's wonderful. I mean, definitely like Random Access Memories wasn't the best received album. Like definitely
by the fans, definitely not by the
because people were expecting more of the same. Electronic music or whatever, but. These like with Random Access Memories, they brought funk into this, they brought more emotion and more introspection into this album. It took me a while to get into it. I would feel sleepy like actually listening to it before, and then after talking with Justin about it, where it's like, oh, you should listen to this and listen to this. It's a trip. It's where it's like, wow, I feel different after listening to this.
It's cool because. Daft Punk, when they first came onto the scene, their music was very futuristic because that's essentially what it needed. Music needed to have this push so that it could become, to some extent, more high-tech. And it got there. It did.
I mean, definitely, like, I attribute that music to, like, like, the sort of feeling of, 2000, like, you get into 2000... we're flying cars, and that's what and then like it's like that's the perfect like sort of soundtracks. Like, yeah, we are moving in. We got cell phones. DS is on now. We got
Game Boy Advance SP. Our Game Boy's got color now in the year 2000.
Right, exactly. See, like technology, bigger screens, and technology. Like we're on the rise. We're on the run. I guess we're moving places. Yeah, and now is I guess like they're sort of looking backwards. Yeah. Like don't forget who we are.
Because they bring up a good point. Because everything has become so processed. Like everything has become so processed. not just music, but also in terms of how we are as human beings. You know, I mean, think about how many times you have a conversation with someone and they have to pull out their phone.
Oh yeah.
You know, I can't remember the last time I've had, even with you. I mean, aside from our podcast, I guess, you know. But even then, sometimes we're like I'm looking at the levels right now instead of like making eye contact with you. Like everything has become so machine driven and so processed, like in every aspect of our lives, that I almost
that sort of real.
Yeah, and it's caused us to become too processed, and I feel like Daft Punk, in essence, has kind of recognized this, and that's why they made the decisions that they did with Random Access Memories. Because if you listen to it, it doesn't sound like any electronic album that you've really ever heard before.
No, not at all. Like, it's very different, where like they explore the past very well. I mean, you know, Get Lucky, and like I'm hearing that bass guitar. I'm not good at it.
That Niles Rodgers,
like, yeah, right. And you know, like with Giorgio, you know, like it's using different microphones from the past to discuss a man's entry into making music in the past, you know, where he was like, I want to make futuristic music in the 70s, you know.
A lot of you are probably like kind of confused, I guess. Why don't we take a step back and just explain about their albums?
Yeah.
So Daft Punk has been around apparently for the last 20 years. That's crazy, but they didn't have their first official big album, I suppose, till 1997, and that was Homework. Homework is known for songs like Around the World.
That's one of my jams.
And Defunct, Teachers, where they literally talk about a lot of their influences and stuff. It's really, like, it came out of nowhere, honestly. Like, it just came out of nowhere. Electronic music now is just a huge thing.
Yeah, I mean, Lights All Night.
Yeah, Lights All Night,
like
Izu.
Electric Davis.
EDC. You have so many options. It's such a big part of the culture. You know, the culture is so mainstream almost now.
Yeah,
you know, and it's
almost
accepted.
definitely.
But back in the day,
Not at all.
it was so underground. And so Daft Punk pushes out this album, and it kind of is like the first. It's like a Gurren Lagann with the first beam of light. That's what it was. That's what it was. The first beam of light.
I'm gonna start on Gurren Lagann. Are we gonna have an anime day one day?
One of these days we will. I promise.
Okay, cool.
But it's like Gurren Lagann, where it's like the first beam of light comes out and hits the cave. And things are slowly illuminated.
Although you used a lot more obscure reference to describe. Oh, don't get me wrong.
I used an obscure reference to describe an obscure album.
Right? Yeah, like, hey, I guess you got to. That's who we are. This is That's Dope. We talk about things like that sometimes. But like, no, most definitely, like, I need to get more into it. Like, I definitely listen to it, although I haven't like really dived into it as I have with Discovery, which is the next one, right?
Yeah, Discovery. Cool. Yeah, Discovery is my personal favorite of the main albums, I suppose, as the studio albums, and that's a lot of people's favorites.
Yeah,
this is the thing that busts. I feel like almost like busts it, like the whole thing, like wide open.
Yeah.
It had a really good amount of recognition, not like crazy insane recognition, like in terms of sales, like Random Access Memories has, but it really, really helped push a lot of stuff to the forefront.
Exactly,
and kind of took. It kind of had like this change of pace for electronic music. It slowly stopped being so taboo and slowly
being
really
cool.
Yeah, being cool and you know, being on the rise.
I mean, I heard it in 3rd grade, and you know, still it's a mainstay in my very limited space, you know, iPhone. You know, like it's really good. It's a really good album where, like, you know, like classics like One More Time, Digital Love. What else is like really classic in there?
Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger, Aerodynamic, Face to Face. That album is riddled with so many fantastic tracks. Like, I like every song on there. Yeah. I legitimately love that album as a whole.
Yeah, I need to buy it.
And the crazy thing is that album is 12 years old.
Yeah.
12 years old.
Correct.
And when you listen to it, it doesn't sound like an album that's 12 years old.
No, it sounds like it could have came out like yesterday. Like, and like I wouldn't be surprised they played it on the radio. They need to.
Oh, it's honestly, that album was so revolutionary. So revolutionary. Most it just took what we thought we could do with music, especially electronic music, and just put it to a whole new level.
Exactly.
And so then they had 4 years between their next album, which was Human After All, which is in 2005.
Boom.
For me personally, I couldn't fully appreciate this album until something happened a little bit later in the future, which I will get into.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But this album is a lot more mechanical, I suppose.
Yeah, it is.
Which is interesting. You know?
Ironic because it's called Human After All.
It's Human After All, but it's a lot more processed. It's still really good. You know, it has things like Robot Rock, Human After All, Technologic, if I remember right.
Yeah.
A lot of really interesting sounds for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it made you think robots.
It was. I feel like it really gave them a very robotic sound to some extent, and it was them diving deeper into electronic music.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
maybe like it was maybe
less,
like
a little bit less from dance, maybe more into electronic. I'm not really sure. I don't. Really, that's the thing. Like Daft Punk albums are hard to categorize.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Like, but I loved it still. Like, also,
it was still a good album.
Like many favorites for me, you know, like Human After All, ironically gave me a lot of emotions listening to it. You know, like I don't know, again, like I like it a lot. Something I listen to when I feel sad. Robot Rock. I mean,
Robot Rock gets me so hyped.
Yeah, ever since Iron Man 2, right?
Did they have it?
Yeah, they did. When Iron Man was fighting War Machine, he was fighting. It was 2. Yeah, he's fighting Don Cheadle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And it was definitely. I never even noticed that.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I never have to rewatch Iron Man 2.
Yeah,
Go figure. I didn't think I'd ever have to do that.
Right? Like they're fighting at the party, and then like Don Cheadle puts it on to stop Iron Man, Tony, because he's drunk.
In the suit, I remember.
Yeah,
And they Robot Rock in the background. That's awesome. That's so dope.
Yeah, and that's when I was like, this song is so cool. Although I liked it before then, but like it took new heights after that. So like for me, like it was still like a really emotional sort of feelings album, even though it was more robotic of sorts. I liked it, and I guess it was trying to. Maybe as a metaphor on like who they are as people, you know, like they want to sort of distance that sort of human element, I guess, maybe, you know, that's why they wear the masks.
Got a lot.
But then also it's like at the same time still showing that they are human, or, you know, like, or I don't know, I'm bad at this.
No. Like I can agree with that to some extent. The duality of Daft Punk is essentially that they separate themselves from other artists by trying to portray themselves as robots.
Yeah.
But inevitably produce some of the most human sounds and evoke some of the most human emotions you can have whenever you listen to them.
Yeah.
So then they took a huge break from their standard albums. We didn't really have like a real studio album, excluding like Tron Legacy, until Random Access Memories. And I remember there was so much hype behind this album. Yeah. And it sold really well. It's Daft Punk's best-selling album. But a lot of the fans have really big issues with it. And for me, I think that is essentially a failure to recognize what Daft Punk has always been about. I see Daft Punk as visionaries who look at the world. Push. Yeah, they look at the world how it is, and they look at the world how it could be or how it should be, and they try to make music to reflect that. Yeah, you know, we have electronic music that kind of gets a little bit of exposure in 1997's Homework, and then we have like the big push out, which is Discovery, where it's like this is something that should define the era, which I can really appreciate. But now when Daft Punk comes back on the scene, music, especially electronic music, has gotten so processed and so repetitive to the point where you can't even distinguish a lot of electronic artists from each other. Yeah. And that's kind of heartbreaking. Yeah. And so what Daft Punk did was that they made an album which is so retro and so futuristic at the same time. It's in such spectacular Daft Punk fashion. They took an electronic album and they made it, in my opinion, the most human electronic album ever made. Yeah, no, that's a good description of it. I mean, it's very human. Like, where like you definitely like, you know, they have interviews, they have people talking and singing, you know, like, which I thought was pretty interesting. You know, with touch, real guitars. Yeah, you know, I mean, for real, like, yeah, definitely live instruments. They, you know, definitely wanted to showcase like the sort of older sound. And I think they do a really good job of that. Although people are stupid, you know, like where people are like, oh, it's not the same. You know, like they always want to fit artists into a box rather than see what artists are trying to do. Artists who have tried to always sort of branch out. I mean, you know, Beatles or Kanye or whatever, you know, there's a lot of examples of that. And it's like, I guess that's a really good analysis. But that's what Daft Punk does, you know, where it's showcasing
bring back the human element into it. I do wonder why it's called Random Access Memories, though. I mean, like RAM, I guess, for like computer.
RAM like a computer, I guess.
But then like memory, but random access memories.
I think it kind of like alludes to the futuristic sound with also the nostalgic vibes that the album gives. But I mean, I can't really dive into it too much, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah, I think overall, like, everyone who listens to this podcast needs to do themselves a favor and listen to the entire Daft Punk discography.
Most definitely.
Homework, Discovery, Human After All, and then this one album, which is actually my favorite Daft Punk album to this day that no one knows about. It's called Alive 2007, and it is the best thing ever.
Oh yeah, like you got me into it, and I really dig it myself.
It's my favorite live album of all time. It's my favorite Daft Punk album. It is incredible, and it is what really made me appreciate Human After All, because essentially what they do is that they take beats, they take like songs from the Homework era, from the Discovery era, and mix it with the Human After All era, and it just makes something that where you can recognize the little parts, but it also makes a new whole, which is just so, like, they're geniuses. The way that they I can't even put it into words. Like, I feel like I'm doing such a terrible job of describing this album, but honestly, like, after you've listened to the Daft Punk discography, when you listen to Alive 2007, like, you will understand why I'm struggling to come up with the words to describe how great this album is.
Seriously, it's really good. I mean, it makes you wish I was there, actually. And I'm like, I wish they did a tour like that.
I want to go on a Daft Punk tour so bad.
Right?
So bad. Daft Punk needs to come to the
one
United
day.
States. I mean, they are going back on tour. I'm hoping they come to Texas sometime. It doesn't even matter. It just has to be in the United States somewhere. I don't even care.
We'll make it work.
I'll be working. I'll have a little. Some people have a rainy day fund. No, Daft Punk fund. All right, front row seats, VIP. I don't even care.
Oh dang. Okay. Hey, bring me with you, man.
I'll see what I can do, bro.
My bro.
Bro fist.
Bro fist. There we go. That sounds better. But yeah.
Why don't we talk really quickly about our favorite tracks then?
Okay.
What they mean to you.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that'd be a really cool way to kind of.
Okay. I guess I'll talk about like from each one.
Yeah.
Or
however you want to do it, bro.
Okay, cool.
It's your call.
Okay, so like I said before at the beginning, like One More Time is my favorite. For me, like, just gives me like such nostalgic good time vibes, you know, like where it's like a nice party, but it's not like a debaucherous party in a sense, you know, where it's like too much excess, but it's like really good times where you're celebrating the best, you know, like where there's no bad around it, you know. It's like, hey, let's try to do that again sometime, or, you know, let's try to end this party like really well, you know.
I get what you're saying. Like, it's not Dirty Ratchet, you know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, definitely. Like,
it's just like a very much like a good vibes kind of song.
Exactly, you know. Like, and for me, like, it always sort of evokes like going to like just having like my favorite type of party is like a good video game party where like we had a party like a month ago, so like where we had like a nice mix of guys and girls, you know, nice amount of drinks, and, you know, nice video games, good people, everyone was there.
Yeah.
And it was good times. Like, I wasn't worried about like neighbors getting angry. I wasn't worried about waking up anyone, although I woke up my roommate, but yeah, he was okay. I wasn't worried about anything, and it's just like, man, let's do that again. You know, let's do it one more time, and it's like a good humble celebration, you know, where it's like you can't get mad at that, you know. Another song that, or I guess let's trade off. Like,
no, you go.
Okay, cool. Another song that I really like I said before, is Human After All. Oh, I guess I also gotta talk about this Digital Love too. Human After All and Digital Love. These are like my sad time songs. Like, that make me feel a lot better. Where it's like Digital Love is a song that I listen to like when I feeling in that mood for a lady friend. You know, it's like, oh, why can't I find any love? And it's sort of like this song is a good sympathy.
Comes true.
Right? Yeah, right. And it's like it's a good sort of sympathy song where it's just like, hey, maybe I can make that dream come true one day, eh? So it sort of pushes me on. Yeah. And then like Human After All is like whenever I feel, I guess, sort of depressed in a sense. Like, we all get depressed. But this song reminds me like, hey, it's okay to feel sad, you know. It's okay to feel, you know, just a little empty sometimes or whatever, you know, and it gives me that sort of passion, even though ironically it's a robotic song, you know, like, and I think that's like a really good point where like what Human After All. Like, even though these songs are like that, and even though the song is really repetitive, all they say is Human After All the whole time. They say that like 6 minutes. I love it, you know, like I get into it, and it just sort of reminds me, yeah, it's okay to be like this right now, you know. Is there anything else I'd like to say? Any other songs? Aerodynamic is like a dope song, like where I just focus. Yeah, like that's a good song, and it just makes you think, like, feel like running. Anything else?
Song to run to.
And then there's one more song. I guess like with the live 2007, like I really like the One More Time mix with the Aerodynamic. It mixes my two of my favorite Daft Punk songs together for a really good party song. You know, I really dig it. And then I guess like on Random Access Memories, like I really do like Touch. Like I know you're gonna touch on that some more. I can't lie, I really like. Well, I like Giorgio on that, like, because it's like humble beginnings make something great, but then also Get Lucky, the song that got us all hyped up for like this whole album, and then also it's a good dance song. I mean,
Dude, yeah, we played Get Lucky after my best friend got married.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like the place was just, but we were cleaning up or whatever, and they had just come back from like a photo shoot, and there was like no like older people around us. We just threw that on because you already know,
right? Seriously, that's legit, man. And then also I guess like with Get Lucky, I really like there's this video where like they put Soul Train to it, and it worked out just so well, and it's like, yeah, like it makes me harken back for that old time where people could dance, where people really understood the music, where, you know, music like had a meaning to it, where it sounded really nice, you know. Like now it's like it's a lot harsher nowadays, and like don't get me wrong, I sort of like the harshness. It sort of reflects my mood in a sense, but sort of hearing that sort of nice vibe to it, you know, like, or it's also a song of the youth, but it's still mellow. I like that.
I like Get Lucky a lot. But I liked it a lot more after I kind of heard Pharrell talk about the track.
Yeah.
And he says in an interview that getting lucky, especially like in the context of that song that he's making, is not just about sleeping with a girl.
Yeah.
It's about meeting someone and having a connection with them right off the bat. And that's just a beautiful feeling. And I can relate to that, you know?
Me and you, like I'm not looking like whenever I go to parties or dances, like definitely it would be nice to, you know, like, oh, you know, here's a nice looking female, maybe she does something for me. Oh, I mean, that's not my aim. My aim is to, like, yeah, have a connection, make some new friends, and, you know, maybe meet someone that's genuinely interested about me as I'm interested about her. Yeah,
dude, lady bros are dope too, you know.
Right.
but yeah, for me, I guess it's hard to say because, like, I'm such a Daft Punk fanboy. You know, I love all their stuff.
Choose your one, baby.
It's hard, man. Like Tron Legacy, that's my favorite soundtrack. Like, that's my favorite film score, like, of all time. Like, it's like, I just love Daft Punk so much. It's hard for me to really fully try to pick favorites. You know what I mean? But I will try my best. I really, really, really like all the songs that you mentioned are fantastic. So I'm gonna try to go do some other tracks that you might not have mentioned. For me, I love Face to Face, but I feel like I should have been introduced to this song maybe a little bit earlier. It's off Daft Punk's Discovery album, and it's called Something About Us. And it's one of the most bittersweet songs I've ever heard in my life. Like,
I need to listen to it. I haven't.
It's I think it might be track 8 maybe, but it's just like a really, really sad song. I don't want to sing it because I'd ruin it. But
I guess let me look if I have it on my phone. But yeah, keep on.
It has like this like semi-human, semi-robotic vibe to it, but the amount of emotion that it invokes is just really strong with me, and I don't know why. But it's just a beautiful song, and I always listen to it anytime I'm not feeling so great about how things might have turned out with, like, you know, like a lady friend or something. It's just a really good song though. Like, it's just a really beautiful song. I think that Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger is also a really notable song.
Classic.
Because of the impact that it had. You know, when Kanye sampled it, that really was a really good push towards the more semi-electronic vibe that a lot of rap music has nowadays. But I mean, it's like I really think Hard, Better, Faster, Stronger is important because
it is making like a shift. Like,
especially when it was used by Kanye, like it marked a shift in electronic music.
I mean, 808s and Heartbreak,
808s and Heartbreak, like that is a giant. You know what I mean? That almost was like the tipping point, I suppose. But this
808's
was
drum, like it's used, like everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So definitely, I get you with that.
Another big track that I'm a really huge fan of is Face to Face.
So yeah.
I really like that track a lot. It's like I said, it was one of the few tracks that I had back in the day.
Yeah. No, I did that. Well, I'll start somewhere, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's just a really good song. And I like this. I like the singer on it a lot. Very good. Of course, Digital Love. My second favorite track would probably be One More Time. And I think honestly, my favorite Daft Punk track is Touch. I know it sounds weird, but I think that Touch is the most interestingly, beautifully, depressingly creative venture that they've ever made. And it's off of their latest album, Random Access Memories, and it's hard to describe. Like I'm one of those people who, when I listen to music, I see things, I see stories, I see, I see so much when I listen to music.
Yeah, I do that too.
For better or for worse, you know what I mean? Like I love it when music has a story, and this song doesn't have very many words. Yeah. But it has enough to at least put some kind of cohesive narrative for me. Yeah. And it's just a really beautiful song. And I think that it was a very risky song, but I think it was something that was necessary almost. It showed Daft Punk essentially using everything that they had in their arsenal in terms of live instrumentation, electronics, etc. It just pushed the boundaries. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like people, like, years from now, are going to look back at that song and just be like, wow, this was
groundbreaking,
iconic.
Like, once you told me about it and like the narrative that you had, I guess, do you want to touch on the narrative?
I can touch on the narrative that I have. I listen to Touch, and a lot of people, I always tell people, listen to Touch and tell me what you see. And a lot of people see a lot of different things. For some people, they see it as birth and death. For me, I see the track as a relationship, the start and the end of it. Essentially what I see at the beginning is this dude, and he's kind of wandering aimlessly. And he walks into a bar and he sits down. As the music gets louder, like we hear Touch kind of being like slightly pronounced, and he sits in the bar and he orders a drink. And as the music gets like really loud, it's essentially like the drink being filled up. And then he gets given the drink and he's looking at it, and the music is really loud, and then he finally speaks and he says, "Touch, I remember Touch, pictures came with Touch." And there's flashbacks to him and like moments of a relationship. We're think about like 500 Days of Summer, like when Tom is first thinking about some of the times that he had with Summer, like those kinds of flashbacks. A Painter in My Mind, Tell Me What You See, all of that. And then it goes into a deeper flashback when he says kiss. It's like him essentially back in time, like at like a party or something. He's by himself, and like he like looks up and there's like this girl, and then the rest of the track essentially is them hitting it off, and they have like this relationship, and it shows this relationship that's developing, like all the stages. There's like slow parts whenever they have like their first kiss or whatever, and it shows like a lot of passion and stuff. And then there's this one part in the track, I forgot the exact timestamp for it, but the music is drastically different. It's like woo, it's like this crazy winding and everything. And I feel like that moment, but just before it does that part. Like just before it always does the hold on, if love is your answer you'll hold, and that's like the really slow intimate moments. But then it has like this part before it does the second hold on, if love is the answer you're home, so hold on. Like before it does that, it has the second part where it has this really crazy buildup, and during this buildup I see like a fight break out with him, his girl, and like some other dudes like kind of involved, right? And they're kind of like have like a separation, and then they kind of find themselves back together. They're able to resolve their issues or whatever, and they're coming back together. And then the song kind of progresses, and it's like if it's the choir now with the kids, and they're like saying, "If love is the answer, you're home, so hold on." And that's essentially them like holding onto their relationship and deciding to go with it. And the dude goes and he buys a ring, and he takes the ring, and in the background it's getting louder and louder and louder. He's walking back to his apartment, I guess to their apartment, and it's just getting louder and louder. He's all suited up, and he opens their door, and the music is getting really loud now, and he opens their bedroom door, and she's cheating on him with that guy from before. And that's when like the music goes silent, and that's when you hear him say, "Touch, sweet touch, you've given me too much to feel. Sweet touch, you almost convinced me I'm real." And that's kind of, and he leaves, and as he's leaving we realize that him then is the same man that we saw stumbling in the beginning, and that's why he goes to the bar. It's weird. I know, it's so
crazy.
weird. It's so weird. But
no, I mean, that's seriously like a really good...
That's what I see when I listen to that song. Hopefully I did an okay job of describing.
No, that was really good, yeah. Although, like, originally, like, I thought, like, the chick got sick. And
that's another... That depends on my mood. Another thing that I see is, like, the girl... Like, when they're saying, "Hold on," it's a happier thing, but it's also really depressing, too. Where it's, like, the girl is saying... When they're saying, like, "Hold on," like... she's bedridden, afflicted by some kind of disease, and they think that she's going to be getting better. You know what I mean? And that's why the music is getting louder and louder, because she's like smiling or whatever. You know what I mean? And everything is painted to the point where she should be getting better, and they should be having a happily ever after. But then, like, the music cuts off, and like her pulse is done, and then the end is him like at a gravestone, and he's just like, "Touch, sweet touch." You know what I mean? Like, it's either way, it ends poorly for the dude. You know what I mean? But
both of those stories are really good, actually. Like the first one actually makes more sense, I guess, with like the whole progression. Yeah, crazy stuff, man. Definitely.
I see weird stuff when I listen to music.
No. But like, seriously, like, who would have thought a Daft Punk song would be so story driven? Yeah, I mean, I know. Yeah.
I guess on that note, it's a good thing to segue into our last topic of discussion in terms of Daft Punk. Something we mentioned, one subtle thing that a lot of people don't know about Daft Punk, and that is their Alive 2007 album, which is your homework. Your homework for as of right now is to listen to the first 3 Daft Punk albums, Alive 2007, and then Random Access Memories. Okay. But on top of that, for extra credit, after you listen to Discovery, there's a film that you have to see. Like, you must watch this film. I cannot stress this enough.
It's only an hour.
Yeah, it's only an hour. It is called Interstellar 5555. I know it's a crazy name, but it's amazing. Essentially, they took the Daft Punk album Discovery, and they animated like a cohesive story with the entire album as the only things that you hear. There's no dialogue or anything. Like, the entire story is told through the album and the music that is in the background. And I don't know how, but it just works. And I saw it for the first time this summer, and it was honestly one of the most beautifully animated things I've seen in my life. Like,
most definitely. Like, yeah, like me and him watched it together, like, in the summertime with a lot of different friends, and it was crazy. In fact, it was where I first saw the aerodynamic music video for the first time. That's what got me interested in it, and I've been wanting to see it. Like, so it's an anime film. Toei animates it back in early,
back in 2003, if I remember right.
Pretty early on, and like when anime wasn't as hyped up, I guess, or it was starting to, I guess, and it's a pretty crazy story. I won't say too much about it.
Well, I mean, we couldn't. Yeah. We honestly couldn't. Like, it's weird. Like, it's a very interesting film.
It's a crazy story.
Yeah, but it just works. Like you listen to Discovery, and for me, what happened was, like, I hadn't listened to Discovery in a long time. But I watched that film, and it was like falling in love with that album all over.
Oh yeah,
again.
Most definitely.
It was, and how it was just a really great setting. Like, you were there, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, we had like some awesome people in my place, and we just watched it, and it was just wonderful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people would like sing along and stuff, and it was just a good experience. Like, I mean, like there's some films that you have to watch alone. I suggest like this is like a film like if you have a bunch of people who you're gonna be listening to all the albums with, like watch it with them.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
It's just a great experience.
Most definitely.
it is wonderful.
Most definitely. I mean, you'll have a good time. It's not too long of a time commitment. If you like the album, you'll love it more. And
It's just
it's just watch it.
and it gives you so many feels.
Has a black
so
guy,
many
too.
feels. It gives you like the story itself is very sad because like there's stuff that happens.
People die.
People die to something about us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's beautiful. The story is very sad. So it gives you like legitimate feels, and it also gives you nostalgia feels because it's a Daft Punk.
Yeah.
You get to see all of your favorite Daft Punk songs, and they get painted in an entirely new way, which is amazing. It's amazing because it gives you an even greater appreciation for the music itself.
Most
And
definitely.
that's saying something because it's Daft Punk. We've been talking about Daft Punk for probably like 40 minutes at least.
yeah.
I don't know. Unedited, it's been like 40 minutes that we've had this conversation. Like the fact that we can talk about two robots for 40 minutes. Like that's saying something,
That's true.
That's saying something. But I think that Daft Punk is one of those things that's worth getting obsessed over. I love everything that they stand for. The fact that they take music and push the boundaries, and they see so much potential. Yeah, and sometimes they're willing to make great leaps forward, but they're also willing to make steps back so that we ourselves can reevaluate ourselves.
Yeah.
Like that just speaks so much volumes, and the way that they carry themselves, the fact that they're so humble by the fact that they don't want recognition, and so they hide behind a mask. Like that's amazing.
Yeah,
and that's. I get a little choked up just talking about it, but it's a really rare trait for human beings in general.
Most definitely.
I don't really know what else I can say.
Yeah, no, I think you hit it on the head, and like there's not too much more to say. Great duo, great. They pushed the boundaries a lot. Listen to the old stuff, and it sound like it came out yesterday. Listen to the new stuff, and it sound like it came out 30 years ago, or 40 years ago, really. And either way, you'll be enjoying yourself, and you'll be able to learn about yourself, learn about the past, learn about what these guys think. You're gonna learn something, and you're gonna have a good time, or you could just have a good time and not really care about all that. And that's something like they don't hit you on the head with like consciousness. You just like listen to us and pay attention and learn. Yeah,
I guess that's the thing that kind of that also links aside from with Pacific Rim and Daft Punk. I mean, you can go in there, you could just not think too much about it.
Yeah,
if you want to, and you'll still enjoy it.
Yeah.
But like
if you go deeper, then
you'll enjoy it even more.
Exactly.
And you honestly can't do that with most movies these days. You can't do that with most music these days. It's a rare trait.
Most definitely.
And I guess that's what we're about on this show. Like taking things that people can sometimes overlook and shedding light to them and giving people who have maybe already really appreciated these things new reasons to love why they originally loved those
Very
things so much.
So yeah, definitely go watch Pacific Rim if you guys haven't seen that already.
Its influences are around the world.
Most
I'm so sorry. I couldn't resist.
Oh man,
couldn't resist.
You'll see some robots that rock.
I like that.
Yeah. Is there anything else I can probably?
So that's pretty much everything that we have to talk about today. We're gonna try to be a little bit more regular with releasing these. Till then, please listen to the albums. Please watch Pacific Rim, and please tell us your thoughts. As always, you can reach us on our Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and now YouTube, which is gonna be our primary method of delivery. We still have iTunes for all you iTunes people. Don't worry about that. That's not going anywhere. But we're gonna try to really push YouTube as much as we possibly can, and really use that to the fullest.
Yeah, most definitely. That would be the best thing I feel for us.
Definitely. So to review, youtube.com/thatsdopepodcast, facebook.com/thatsdopepodcast, twitter.com/thatsdopepodcast. No S on that one. Well, except on podcast. And the Tumblr and thatsdopepodcast.tumblr.com. Guys, thank you so much for giving us your time. So homework for today: watch Pacific Rim, listen to Daft Punk's albums in Live 2007, watch Interstellar 5555, and then come talk to us about how great all those things are.
Yeah, that's it, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed our show, and if we could use any suggestions, if you guys are interested in helping out, or listen, or getting more involved, or we can always use comment suggestions, whatever, on all of our formats.
Oh, definitely.
Please send us to your friends, share this, whatever else, tickle that.
Yeah, and if you
like
would,
button.
and if you would like for us to talk about something, please,
Yes.
please submit it.
We talk about movies, games, shows, music, events. I guess we didn't explain this at the beginning, but the way I see this is. Yeah, there we go. Opinionated, geeky college guys, talking about what we think is cool.
Essentially, when I think of the show, well, when I think of the show, I think the big thing that the show has that I also try to emulate in life is that I try to break as many stereotypes as I possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
It's really easy for people to just go and categorize things as this. Daft Punk electronic music, that's only for nerdy people. Oh, Pacific Rim, Guillermo del Toro, that's only for nerdy people. I wouldn't enjoy this. I'm not supposed to enjoy this. I think with the show, with me, and what I also try to bring to the show is that I try to take these concepts, some of them which some people might consider taboo, and make it so that people give things a chance. There is no reason why everyone, why people shouldn't give Daft Punk a chance. There's no reason why people shouldn't give Pacific Rim a chance.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that Pacific Rim, for example, did so poorly in the American box office is because, predetermined stigmas and stereotypes in people's minds.
Mm-hmm.
People, I don't know about you, but I feel like most people should be at least be getting tired of being spoon-fed the same garbage.
Yeah,
day in and day out.
what's so appealing about Transformers that they're gonna try and make another one or something like that?
What's so appealing about the first Grown-Ups that they would make a second one?
Right, and that people want to go see that over Pacific Rim. Whatever, people are dumb, and we're just hoping to educate you. Hopefully you're not one of those people if you listen to this.
Honestly, and don't I don't want to be viewed as the end all be all. I am learning just as much as other people are.
Exactly. We learn from you guys.
So teach us stuff. Not to quote the Pokemon thong.
Pokemon thong.
Not to quote the Pokemon song, but you teach me and I'll teach you. All right, that's all.
Pokemon.
Gotta catch 'em all, dude. This is the longest outro we've ever done in our lives.
Yeah, right. Anyways, it's necessary because this is a reboot. So.
I guess it is necessary so that people kind of know exactly where we're coming from.
Exactly.
That's about everything that I can say.
Yeah. So pretty much stay dope, folks.
And we'll see you next time.